Coming to the last part of the 30th chapter of Charaka Chikitsa Sthana Yoni Vyapat Chikitsa. So we are going to complete this chapter today. So in our previous classes we have covered about the Yoni Vyapadas, that's Chikitsa, and we have covered about the Shukra Dushti, 8 types of, and 3 types of Klebya we have already covered, and we have covered about the Sthanya Dushti and the Chikitsa of all those diseases. We have covered about the Pradara, 4 types of Pradara and its treatment, and all those things have been covered in our previous classes. Now coming to the continuation of this chapter, in the last part they have mentioned that all even though the treatment of certain diseases are given, but they have mentioned that it is needed for a vaidya to decide according to the conditions, according to the dosha dushyata satmya kala etc. of the all those things should be kept in mind before prescribing for the treatment. So this is mentioned in the last part of this chapter. It's very important about the aushadha and the yukti, and how to decide the treatment for different patients is mentioned here. And here one more thing is mentioned, that the diseases which are not mentioned here, because of enormous extent of the names and forms, for them also the say about treatment is applicable with due consideration of dosha etc. Roga ya apyatra na nodishta bahutatvam anarupatah tesham tadvevam yasya doshadinam chikshiya bheshajam. That means the diseases are innumerable. Bahutadvam anarupatah. You cannot count all the diseases, and few diseases may have been missed in this Samhita also. So how to treat that those diseases which are not mentioned in Samhita? Question arises. For them, this quotation is applicable. He says that the diseases which are not mentioned here, because of the bahutatvat, that is in their names and forms, they are bahutatvat, and they are very much in forms and names. So how to treat is the same treatment can be applicable considering the dosha etc. So you have to see the dosha dusha etc, then you can give the treatment. Like vataja dosha treatment can be applied in such cases. So you have to see first the dosha dusha samprapti ghatakas, then you can give the treatment can be planned accordingly. Then the next, the measure contrary to dosha dusha nidana is positively beneficial, and if properly applied overcomes all said or unsaid diseases. Again the question arises that ukta and anukta means ukta means the said diseases which are mentioned already in our samhitas or classics, and unsaid anukta diseases, how to treat those anukta diseases, like new diseases what we can say, or some diseases which are not mentioned in the samhitas or classicals. But how to treat such conditions is, again first we have to know the dosha dusha nidana of that diseases. So we have to first understand the samprapti ghatakas, we have to understand the nidana, we have to understand why it is caused, how it is caused, which doshas are involved, which doshas dhatus and malas are involved. So then we have to plan a viparita chikitsa for them, viparita to the dosha dusha nidanam, dosha dusha nidanam viparitam hitam dhruvam uktam anuktam gadan sarvan samyuktam samyuktam niyashchati. That means the measures contrary to the dosha dushya and nidana is positively beneficial, and if properly applied overcomes all said and unsaid diseases. So here if said or unsaid diseases are there, then nothing to worry. Some names are might not have been mentioned in our classics, but how to treat that condition is, you have to first understand which dosha is involved, what is the nidana of that disease, and which doshas malas etc are involved, and you have to give the viparita chikitsa to them. Viparita of dosha dusha nidanam, viparita chikitsa is useful in such cases. This proper application requires due consideration of the kala, place, desha kala pramananam सात्म्य असात्म्य चैव हि सम्यक योगेन अन्यथा ह्येषां पथ्यम apathyam yatham bhavet. That means this proper application requires due consideration of the desha, that is place, time, kala, pramana, the dose, and suitability or unsuitability, satmyata and asatmyata. Otherwise even favorable medicament or medicines becomes harmful. Even pathya becomes apathya. So here the important thing is that this is done by the yukti of a physician itself. Physician has to decide the treatment according to the desha, kala, pramana, satmya, asatmya of the patient. So all these things should be kept in mind. Desha, kala, pramana, Satmya, asatmyata. These factors have to be kept in mind before prescribing the treatment. If you are not considering all these things, you are simply giving a treatment, then even the pathya, that is a good medicine, will become harmful to the patient. So all these things should be properly applied before prescribing the treatment. And next they have mentioned like drug administered, different routes of the drug administration, different routes. So yeah, they have mentioned different routes, like from the mukha, from the guda, and from the nasa, how to give and in which diseases which route is applicable is mentioned in this quotation. Asyam is mouth. Asyam amashaya sthanam hi rogan nastah shirogatan gudascha pakvashaya sthanam hantyashu dattat aushadam. So here they have mentioned different routes for different diseases. For the asyam amashaya sthanam, that means the drug administered through the mouth. Asyam is mouth. Amashaya sthanam hi rogan means it is good for the diseases of amashaya or the upper portion of the GIT. So the drug administered through the oral route or through the mouth, it destroys the diseases of amashaya or the stomach disorders. And then through the nose, if we given through the nasta means nose, nasal route, then it destroys the diseases of shirogatam rogan, that means it destroyed the diseases of head. And then if the medicines are given through the anal route, guda margam, gudat pakvashaya sthanam hantyashu dattat aushadam. So if the medicines are given through the anal route, like we prescribe enemas, basti, suppositories, etc., so those destroy the diseases of pakvashaya or the lower portion of the genital tract. So here three routes of administration are mentioned: asya, nasya, and the asya, that is mouth, nasta or nasa, that is nose, and guda is the anal route. And they have further mentioned that in certain diseases like visarpa, pidaka, etc., arisen in the parts of the body, local application should be given according to the part affected by the pacification of disorder. So here pradehadi shamana chikitsa, so local treatment. So here four routes of this thing is mentioned. That is, first is the mouth, oral route, nasal route, and anal route, and one more thing is the local application of the treatment in cases of skin disorders. So in this way, four routes of administrations are mentioned in this samhita. Next, they have mentioned that time should be known in relation to the day, patient, drug, disease, symptoms of the digested and the season. So how to decide kala? They have mentioned kala is important. So how to decide the kala? Kala is to be decided on the basis of all these things. That is, dina atura ushadha vyadhi jirna lingatvam vakshayet kalam vidyat dinavakshet puram. So here time, how to consider time in relation to the administration of medicine is, time is to be decided on the basis of the day, and the basis of patient, on the basis of drug, on the basis of vyadhi, disease, on the basis of symptoms of digestedness, that is jirna lakshana, and on the basis of kala or the symptoms. How? Examples they have mentioned, that is in relation to day, such as vomiting in the forenoon, that is purvahanam vahmanam yatha. So considering the day, how to decide the time according to day means, like we have to administer vomiting vamana in the early morning, purvahana or forenoon. And that in relation to patient, how to decide the time or kala in relation to patient is, such as a strong patient should be taken drug in the morning on empty stomach, while the weak one should take the same mixed with the light and wholesome food. So if the patient is strong, like a balwan patient is there, then for a strong patient, balwan patient, you can prescribe the medicines on empty stomach early in the morning. But if the patient is weak, then you have to administer him with the laghupatyam bheshajam durbalam. If the patient is durbala, like, you have to give it a small diet, mixed with a small diet you have to administer. And time, how to decide time according to drug is also mentioned here. This is the time relating to the administration of drug is of tenfold. That means the aushadha sevana kala is mentioned here. Aushadha sevana kala is of 10 types. Then aushadha sevana kala is of 10 types here. This quotation is important. Here you can see this. Bheshaja kale bhuktadau madhye punascham भुक्तादौ मध्ये पश्चात मुहुर्मुहुः समुद्गम भक्तम संयुक्तम ग्रासांतरम दशा अपाने विगुणे पूर्वं समाने मध्यभोजनं व्याने तु प्रातरा ऋषि उदाने भोजनोत्तरम सामुद्गम हिकेन देयं लघुना अन्नेन संयुक्तं संभोज्यं तौषधं भेषजं विचित्रैरम अरुचिम हितम. So here 10 types of Aushadha Sevana Kala or Bheshaja Sevana Kala is mentioned. 1 to 2 before meals, day and night. Before the meal, day and night. Before meals. That means Abhaktam. Abhaktam is before consuming of the meal of the day or night. Is like before giving. That is before food, you can say. And third, fourth is during midday meal and the night. During midday meal and the night is the Madhya Bhakti. Madhya Bhakti, and during midday meal and during the night is the Madhya Bhakti. Then Paschat Bhakti is after the day meals and after the meals of the night. That is a Paschat Bhakti. Then Muhur Muhur. Muhur Muhur is frequently. So no time is fixed. Frequently and again we have to administer the medicines. And next is about Samudgam Bhakta Sanyuktam. Samudgam and Bhakta Sanyuktam. Grasam Grasantaram Dasha. So before and after meals mixed with the meal and between the morsels of the meal, that is the Grasam Grasantaram Dasha. So these are the 10 Aushadha Sevana Kalas. So when is to be given the Aushadha in different types of Vyadhis is mentioned further. In derangement of Apana Vata, that is if the problems of Apana Vayu is there, then drugs should be taken before meal. Before meals, that is Abhaktam. Abhaktam is given in cases of the disorders of Apana Vata. Apane vigune purvam. Purvam is before food. Apane vigune purvam. Samane madhya bhojanam. In derangement of the samana, it should be taken during the mid meal. Or samane madhyam bhojanam. Vyane tu pratar rashi. That is in the derangement of Vyana and Udana. Udane bhojanuttaram. So in derangement of Vyana and Udana, drugs should be taken after breakfast or lunch or meal or dinner respectively. So afterwards you have to take after meals in cases of Vyana and Udana. In derangement of Prana Vata, drugs should be administered before morsels, between morsels, between means in between the morsels you have to give the medicines in cases of Prana Vata Dushti. That is here they have mentioned Prane Pradushtotu Grasam Grasantaram Ripyate. Shwasa Kasa Pipasascha Tvarcha Muhu Muhu. That means drugs administered frequently. Muhur Muhu means again and again. Frequently it is administered in cases of Kasa, Shwasa and the Trishna, dyspnea, cough and the thirst. In hiccups, the drug should be administered after mixing it with various delicious food items. So in hicca, how to prescribe is Samudgam Hikkena Deyam Laghuna Annapanena Sanyuktam. Samudgam means it is to be mixed with the other food items and it is to be given is the in cases of Hikka Vyadhi. So these are the different indications in cases of different Vata Dushti and different diseases, how to when to prescribe the medicine. So this is the time or kala related with the administration of the drugs. Now coming to the time or kala in relation to disease. In disease also they have mentioned how to prescribe the treatment, such as in fever, light gruel decoction, milk, ghee, purgation should be given on every 6th day, one after the other, and also considering the condition of the disease. So if the patient is suffering from fever, then all these light pathyas, even purgation milk is to be given every 6th day, one after the another. Then appetite and passing of the urges, and then afterwards they have mentioned the features of Jirna Lakshanas they have mentioned. Jirna Lakshanas means when to know that the Jirna occurred. For this they have mentioned that Shyodho Moksham Laghutam Vishuddhi Jirna Lakshanam Sambhojyam Taushadam Bheshajam Vichitram Aruchihitam Shudvega Moksho Laghuta Vishuddhi Jirna Lakshanam. So here the Jirna Lakshanas are mentioned, that appetite and passing of urges, lightness will be there and sense of well-being. These are the symptoms of the jirna lakshana. How to know that the jirna is, or the symptoms of digestion occurred properly, is because of by seeing these symptoms: appetite, patient will feel hunger, passing of urges naturally, lightness will be there, sense of well-being, patient feels very good or healthy. So these are the symptoms of light digestion or the jirna lakshana. The drug should be taken only then, otherwise it becomes harmful. So if jirna lakshanas are seen, then only it is better to give any medicine, otherwise it will become harmful. As regards time related to season, now coming to the kala related to the season. So accumulation etc of doshas, indications and contraindication and other necessary regimens in different seasons are already said. So according to the seasons, when to administer medicines and indications are already given in the different chapters of the charaka. Treatment applied without considering the above 6 factors relating to time may be harmful, like untimely rains for the crop. So these all 6 factors about the time is to be noted. That is the time in relation to disease, time in relation to the jirna lakshana, time in relation to the season, time in relation to the patients have, time in relation to the administration of the drug, and time in relation to the route of administration, drug, disease, symptoms, rightedness and season. So all these things, 6 factors are there: time related to the day, patient, drug, disease, symptoms of lightedness and the rutu or the seasons. So if you have considered all these 6 factors, then it treatment will be good, otherwise it gives a bad result, just like the untimely rains for the crop. Observation of the specific features of the disease corresponding to season, day and night, age and meal is known as kala veshaka or timely observation. So kala veshaka is a word used, kala veksha is a word used for all these things. If you are considering observing the specific features of the diseases corresponding to the season, day and night, age and meal, then it is called as kala veksha, timely observation. For example, kaphaja, pittaja, vataja disorders appears in the spring, autumn and rainy season respectively. Vatika disorders aggravate at the day, end of the day and the end of the night. Kaphaja disorders aggravates in the beginning of the day and the beginning of the night. Pittaja disorders aggravates in the middle of the day and the middle of the night, that is midday and midnight. In human beings, naturally due to the effect of age, the disorders pertaining to Vata, Pitta and Kapha aggravate in the last, middle and first phases of the lifespan respectively. This is also mentioned, like means in the age group, how the diseases will be there varies. Like in the middle age, the Pittaja Vyadhis are more, and in the early part of the age, that is in the childhood and all, you will find more of the Kaphaja disorders, and in the old age the Vata Vyadhis will be more. So this how the Vata Pitta Kapha variations will be there according to the different phases of the life or lifespan is also mentioned. Vatika disorders aggravate after digestion. So this is the relation of doshas with the digestion. Vatika disorders aggravate after digestion, that is on empty stomach. So if the patient is on empty stomach, then that time vata is aggravated, or if she is or she or he is suffering from some vata vyadhis, then that vata vyadhi aggravates on the empty stomach. Then Paitika disorders aggravates during the digestion, whereas the Kaphaja disorders aggravate just after having meals. So if patient is suffering from any Kaphaja Vyadhi, then you can see the aggravation in the symptoms after having food. So these are the different kala according to the digestion. And the next yes, the next quotation, they have mentioned that drugs in very small dose proves ineffective to the disorders like little water to the fragrant fire. This is about the dosage. So if you give analpam and if you give mahanalpam, that means excessive dose or too little dose, how it acts on the patient is described in this para. Drug in very small dose proves ineffective to the disorders like little water to the flagrant fire. If you are putting some only few little water on a very big fire, then the water cannot suppress the fire. Similarly, if you are prescribing the drugs in very small dose, then it becomes ineffective to treat that disorders. On the other hand, in excessive dose, it becomes harmful, like excessive water for the crop. if you are giving extra dose, just thinking that if I give extra dose then patient will get cured easily. No, it is totally wrong. It destroys the disease. It destroys means it will not work at all. It gives complications, and it is as harmful as the excessive rain for the crop. So it is very, very harmful if you give in the excessive quantity. That's why, keeping in mind the severity of the disorders and potency of the drug should be administered in neither too large nor too small dose. So it should not be given in too large dose, and it should not be given in too small dose. That means dose is to be appropriate according to the severity of the disease and the potency of the drugs. Virya of the drug is to be kept in mind while prescribing the dosage. And one more thing they have mentioned about the Satmayata and Desha. Satmayata, the item which is suitable for place and inhabitants due to the habitual use, should not be totally avoided even if unwholesome, because it does not do good. Suppose if patient Pathya and Bhatya they have mentioned, no, Satmya means a thing which is suitable. By using it constantly, it becomes habitual. You can say it's become habitual. If some Apatya thing is also become habitual, then it should not be avoided totally. Means there is a slow process of removing it, this apatya thing, because it is satmya, so it is suitable for the body of the patient or habitant. So it should not be totally avoided even if it is not good, or if it is apatya, because it does not do good. Okay, so this is one more thing. And one more thing they have mentioned, that Balhika, Pahlava, Chinese, Shulikas, Yavana, Shaka are suited to meat, wheat, Madhvika and weapons and fight. The inhabitants of Prayascha Desha, see they have mentioned according to the Deshas, few Satmata will be there. Like means according to Desha, you have to take the food. This is mentioned in Charaka. This is a speciality of Charaka. Very beautifully explained that. In some Deshas, people eat different types of food in different places, no? So that is very good actually. It's suitable to them, but it is not suitable, the same food is not suitable for the other desha person. So according to desha, you have to take the food. So Balhika desha, Pahlava, Chinese, Sulikas, Yavana, Sakas are suited to meat, wheat, Madhvika and weapon and fire. So they are suitable for these things. The inhabitants of Prayascha Desha, that is eastern region countries people, are suited to fish. Those of the Sindhu Desha, they are suited to the milk, oily and sour preparations, are suitable for those of the Ashmaka and Avanti regions. So sour preparations, they khatte like means their sour amla items are good for the Ashmaka and Avanti regions. For inhabitants of Malaya regions, tubers, roots, fruits are suitable. Liquid gruel is suitable in the south, while churn drinks in the northwest. In Madhya Desha central region, barley, godhuma, wheat and milk products are suitable. For these patients, drugs should be prescribed along with the items suitable to them, because the suitable things provide strength quickly and does not harm even if it is taken in the plentiful. So why you should know the suitable things or satmayata? Satmayata is to be known because if you prescribe the medicines with satmaya things, then it will give the strength quickly. Patient will get the quick strength, and it does not harm if it is given in excess quantity. Suppose if your medicine dose is somewhat extra, but if you are giving it with the satmaya, then patient will get the strength to tolerate the dose of the medicine. So always you should prescribe the medicines with the satmaya of the patient according to the region also. Okay. Next, the physician ignorant of the place, that is desha, etc., and prescribing treatment only with the formulations fails, because there are so many variations in the respect of age, strength, body, etc. Vayo bala sharira bheda hi bahavo mataha. So physician only prescribing medicines means this medicine is good for skin disease, simply is prescribing without considering the formulations, without considering the desha, without considering the vaya, age of the patient, without considering the bala, without considering the sharira, then such medicines or such treatment fails. This is the thing. So like not like in our modern, like how they prescribe symptomatic treatment only. In this case, for a fever you have to give antipyretics. Ours is not like that. Ours is, we have to study the completely the body of the patient. We have to know in detail about the desha, kala, satmaya, vaya, bala, sharira. According to that we have to prescribe, or we have to prescribe the treatment according to the yukti, means our own logical thinking we have to use, and then we have to prescribe certain medications to get the good results, otherwise the treatment fails. Besides, sometimes even apparently contrary therapy, that is the viparita chikitsa, is applied in cases of doshas moving inside joints and located deeply. Sometimes we have to give the viparita chikitsa also. Like for example, in pitta situated inside hiddenly is brought out by applying hot measures like swedana, sprinkling and poultice. Thus the hot is pacified by hot. Sometimes we feel no, already pitta vyadhi is there and you are again applying heat, means what? So sometimes viparita chikitsa also act like if pitta is situated inside hidden by is brought out by application of the hot measures. So to reduce the pitta we are applying swedana, seka, upanaha, etc. to reduce the pitta. So in this way the fire of the pitta is pacified by the fire or the hot itself. Likewise, when the cold sprinkling etc. are applied externally, the heat being suppressed goes inside and destroys kapha hidden within. Thus the cold is overcome by the cold. So sometimes the viparita chikitsa also acts. Very finely powdered and thick paste of even sandal causes burning sensation due to blocking of heat in the skin. Otherwise, in thin and coarsely powdered paste, agaru causes cold. So this is about the consistency of the drug. The excrement of fly checks vomiting, but fly itself causes it. Likewise, there are variations in the effects on eating of the cooked food also. Hence, the wise physician should treat the patient after examining the 10 entities such as dosha, bheshaja, etc. carefully, or not simply with the drug formulations. If the body is emaciated and passage, the disease even departed comes again by a slight cause like fire remaining minutely. Hence, one should continue the use of harmless drug during convulsions for success of the drug administered earlier, even if it will be a tried remedy. That means, see, after if a patient is weak, usually after getting cured with the disease, after getting cured with the disease, the convulsion period will be there where patient tries to recover. So in that period also you have to take care of a emaciated patient, because there are more chances of the punarvyadhi. Punarvyadhi means the disease may come again because of the weakness or emaciation of the patient. Hence you should continue some harmless drugs in the convulsion period also for the success of the drug administered earlier, even if it is tried the remedy. So you can continue the treatment in the convulsion period also for a weak patient, or so to avoid the punar utpatti of the vyadhi is mentioned. This is one of the rule of the treatment. And again they have mentioned that dosha vitiated inside due to hardness, katinam udbhavam, solid accumulation, or extended widely due to non-accumulation causes mild morbidity if it is affected as soft or limited by suitable treatment. Hence, if some disorder arises even on taking wholesome regimens, one, while considering it, should advise to increase the dose of the drug or continue the same treatment for some time more. If the patient develops aversion to the wholesome diet, that is satatam satmyam swadam bhava pathyam, that is due to the continued use or want of palatability, it should be made delicious again by processing it with the various methods of preparation. And due to favorableness of the sense object, that is the taste of food, one attains satisfaction, energy, relish, strength, happiness, and consequently loss of severity of the diseases. The relish which appears due to greediness, diminution of dosha, disorders, or contraindications should be managed with the wholesome diet processed with the drugs if necessary. So lastly, after getting cured, you have to give the wholesome diet, that is pathya upachara or pathya ahara vihara is to be advised to the patient to gain the strength and to reduce the severity of the diseases, and to gain the strength, energy, happiness, and loss of the energy which he has occurred because of the severity of diseases. So pathya upachara is to be done after the treatment of when the patient gets cured of the treatment also. So this is the importance of pathya. Thus now the summing up verses. Thus the etiologies, symptoms, and treatment of 20 disorders of the female genital tract are described for the benefit of disciples, and also the defects of the semen with causes, symptoms, treatment. 4 types of impotency, Klebiata, and the same of Pradhara 4 types with the etiology, symptoms, treatment, and also the defects of the breast milk is Sthanya Dushti with causes, features, and remedies have been mentioned. Features of the normal semen, Shuddha Shukra, and Shuddha Artava Lakshanas, and the normal menstrual discharge are also said. Besides management of the said and unsaid disorders, proper consideration of the relevant factors, merits of the same sixfold time, or that is the Kala factor, then suitability in different places according to the Desha Satmeta, then causes of the physician's failure and the treatment of hidden moving doshas. All these are mentioned here. The physician who is not well versed with the treatise and its contents cannot perform the therapeutic functions, as the blind artist cannot make the painting. So the physician should be thorough with the treatise as well as with the contents of the chapters. Then in the last, this thus ends the 30th chapter on the treatment of the female genital tract, that is the Chikitsa Sthanam. Yoni Vyapachikisa is ended. Chikitsa Sthanam and the treatise composed by Agnivesha, redacted by Charaka, and reconstructed by Drudabala as it was not complete. Agnivesha Krute Tantre Charaka Prati Samskrute Chikisitam Idhi Sthanam Drunabala Sampurnate, and this is Parisamapitam, that is it is this completes the chapter of Yoni Vyapada. Thank you.